Here's a cat. Let's take a quick step-by-step guide at looking at this drawing in a speed painting fashion. Stay with me for that. Okay, and hi. In this 10-minute tutorial, we are going to take a look at drawing this. I have done this on the Surface Book using Sketchable. Sketchable is great because it has this great mirror feature. If you don't have that in whichever app you're drawing, you can do that. It's just going to take twice as long. But a lot of apps have this and it's absolutely great. As you can see, I've started very quickly and I'm just drawing one side. The computer's automatically drawing the other. It makes it a lot simpler to make sure that everything is just, nice and balanced. Quick line drawing, I'm just throwing down everything and I'm just using a reference picture I found on Google. I'm just trying to make this a cute kitten. I'm not trying to do anything bizarre. I'm just trying to get all the lines kind of working right and throwing down some very rough colour. As you'll notice with my palette, I'm only using kind of 2 or 3 colours. No real shading. I'm only using 2 brushes, which are a kind of rough marker paintbrush and a big airbrush. Might change the size of that up and down a little bit, but that's kind of it, and that remains it for the entire painting. The mirror abilities of this app though do play a big part all the way through this. So if your app doesn't have that and you want to paint animals a lot, especially if you're going to draw them face on like this, really it does come in handy. You notice the imbalance a little more in humans, but when you're drawing animals, something like this tool, incredibly useful. You can always turn it off and then paint the subtle differences so you don't notice that as much. That's absolutely great. A lot of artists say, don't draw individual hairs, draw larger clumps, but I always say if you want it to look nice and detailed, individual hairs are absolutely great. So I've got my airbrush and I'm just drawing in more of the markings on the cat and just trying to get those looking more realistic and cute at the same time, that's the finite balance. But I'm going back and I'm just drawing hair and trying to get that distinct cat look and working in all the markings and the hair. I've also got the blender brush. Now, most applications have a blender brush of some variety. Some applications are better than others. Corel Painter has some brilliant blender brushes. Photoshop has a good, solid blender brush. And this application here, Sketchable, has a decent blender brush as well. So, most apps do, and you can get away with, especially when you're drawing fur, just drawing in some rough, kind of skinny, sketchy lines, and then using a blender brush to kind of bring it all together and create that fur. And that really does cover up a lot of the rough mistakes that you'll make, or if you just want to be quick, for instance. Especially around the edge, you get these kind of looping lines where you've done it rather quickly. So you can go around the edge with an eraser and bring some of that in too. Don't use the harsh eraser for that, use a softer edged eraser. So, take the opacity down as well. I never work at 100% with any brush. I always work at, say, a maximum of about 80% with any brush. I'd rather go over something 2 times or 3 times. I'm bringing in now some variation of colour. I've brought in some warmer reds, some more oranges, just to make my cat not look so two-dimensional. And again, that blender brush kind of makes my cat look a bit more in motion. That's the kind of look that you get with cat's fur when you go up and look at it. Now, I've got this kind of bizarre brush here and I'm just trying to see whether it will work, but because I'm not 100% sure, I've decided to do this on a separate layer altogether. And that's a great thing about layers. If you're not 100% sure about layers, give them a go. If you don't know whether an effect is going to work, or you're a bit unsure about trying a new part of a drawing or a new technique, as I am here, and I'm a professional illustrator, then go ahead with a new layer. Put it on a new layer. Give it a go. If it doesn't work, you can scrap the whole layer. If it does work, then brilliant. The main point is you haven't ruined the art that you've got underneath or above. And that's absolutely great. Now you see here I've been using the mirror tool so far, but because I wanted to draw the reflection in the cat's eyes, obviously I had to turn that off to draw the reflection in the eyes. Otherwise the reflection would have been mirrored as well, and that would have been technically wrong. So I just turned that off, draw the reflection, and then turn it back on so I could carry on my work with the cat's fur around the mouth and ears, etc. And it's all looking quite good so far. Maybe not as cute as I want it to be, but I am not typically a kind of cutesy artist. I'm, a fantasy sci-fi genre artist. The reason I'm drawing this is because I like to keep my skill set sharp by drawing things that I don't usually draw. Every day I like to draw something that, people don't ask me to draw. I get asked to draw fantasy and sci-fi stuff a lot. So every day I draw something completely different. I just sketch randomly. And that's what this is. This is me just saying, hey, what's something I could draw that I don't normally draw. And that's how you develop as an artist. That's how you get better. You don't get better by drawing the same thing every day. If you like to draw horses, all you draw is horses, then that's all you're ever going to be able to draw. So, at this point I'm happy with the cat's head. I think the cat's head looks awesome, and that's kind of just on about 3 layers at the moment. I could crush that down, keep that on 1 layer. I could call the illustration done. But I'm going to start a layer underneath here and just put the cat's body on there. Simple outline, just like I did with the head. Block in some colours. And, just get it going there. And I'm picking the colours directly from the head. So I don't have to imagine anything. I'm just drawing those in there and picking the colour straight from the head. And trying to come up with a nice pattern that I like, that fits, that's cute. And I'm just using the same brushes that I've been using all along. At this point, there's nothing new. This is just going through the same thing that I did before. I could have done this at the same time I did the head. Obviously, I've shrunk down the head to kind of fit space for a body now. And I'm doing a back part of the body and a tail now as well. But, I could have done this all at the same time, but I chose not to. I chose to do this separately because I know some of you may just want to draw the head. It's a nicer way to work for it in some ways. I think specifically for a tutorial it works that way. You can see here that I've made the body a lot fluffier, and I could have done that with the head as well. It probably would have looked a bit too blurry and out of focus though. While I'm drawing a soft cute kitten, you can always get that blurry and out of focus look. Now here's one thing I didn't put on the head that maybe I should have done. Whiskers. They probably do make it look like an older cat, but one thing I can do is I can go in my layers and I can just knock that back in the opacity and soften those up a bit, and they'll be absolutely fine. Also just helps me, blend that body into the head a bit. I can just carry on refining this. I can also help blend the head into the body by adding a collar. I'll just use one of Sketchable's little masks here, which is absolutely great. There we go. And give him a nice, perfectly round gold collar. Now I'll give him a nice, simple name. Let me just touch this bit up here. And again, I'm just using the mirroring tool just to keep things nice and simple. There we go. Just turn my mask back on. Cat. There we go, which is probably what I would name a cat. And yeah, I know. But there we go. On another layer, I'll add a shadow and just tilt his head so the whole thing doesn't look too symmetrical. Just crush down my layers so his whiskers and everything are on the same layer as well. And with my free transform tool, I can move things around as well. And that looks fine, that looks great. I'm really happy with that. We'll just change this background. I love the soft purple. The soft purple makes him look, or her, look very, very cute. I'm very happy with that. I think it's a very cutesy cat now, and we can change the background to whatever I want it to be. Add in a nice shadow to make the background look more believable. But we can change the colour to whatever you'd like it to be. If we want it to look more sad and somber, we can change that background to black. But all in all, this has been a nice fun little drawing. You can see how simple it was to actually do this. And I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and if you do subscribe, make sure to hit the little bell icon next to the subscribe button so you know when a new video comes out. That really helps me. Okay folks, I'll see you very, very shortly. Have a great day, keep on painting, and join me on Twitter and Facebook and let me know how you get on with your cat drawing. I'll see you soon. Well, thanks for watching. Be sure to comment, like, and even subscribe to my channel, Lawrence Can Draw. And if you really did like what you saw here, you can see more of it on my website, lawrenceman.co.uk. I'll see you next time.